Welcome to the podcast. Today we got something special. We're gonna do. What are we gonna do, dude?
We're doing the top 10 worst movies of 2024. And this list was easy. I could have put in 1,000 movies. So, coming up with a list of the, top 10 best movies was harder than coming up with a list of top 10 worst movies. But some of these movies are so fucking awful that we just have to talk about it.
I absolutely agree. It took me a lot longer. I was doing the list today, and it took me like 10 minutes to do this entire list, and 9 of those were just the films that I liked. So I thought that was kind of retarded. I didn't want to look into it that much. I wanted to see which ones I had seen, which one were on Netflix, and I looked at the best films of 2024, and they were predominantly all on my shit list. What about you, dude?
Were you trying to stick to theater releases more or streaming, or because I was trying to stick to theater releases more than streaming. I just think that streaming is at a different standard than what comes out in the theaters. Even though it's getting closer, I just try to stick to releases. I try to stay away from Marvel and DC because it was a fucking bad year for both those. So I tried to keep those off the list. And, I wouldn't say there was any 5-star movies this year, but, there were a few good movies, but a lot of bad movies.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah, I definitely. I focused on both. Some theatrical releases, some that I just saw when they just released on whatever designated platform. But some of them were from Netflix. Some of them were actually really just Netflix releases that caught me by surprise. So I just ruled it as a general. If it was a good movie, I went with it. If it was a shit movie, even if it was just recent released in the theater, it was still gonna go on that list.
Yeah. The usual great filmmakers didn't have a movie this year. We didn't have a Scorsese movie. We didn't have a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. We didn't have a Tarantino movie. So there were a lot of filmmakers that probably took the year off. But we'll dive into it. Let's start with number
Ridley
10.
Scott.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when it comes to it. So we'll talk about good old
We
Ridley.
had Ridley Scott, and his movies are fucking awesome. All right, so you're number 10. Best or worst?
So we're gonna start with the worst movies first. And speaking of Ridley, I think he should have directed Alien Romulus. I think he made a mistake going after Gladiator. I think this movie would have probably been 10 times better if it was directed by him. My problem with the movie, I had to put it on the list because this was worse than Alien 4 for me. Definitely not on par with Covenant. Definitely not on par with Prometheus. The cast of the movie, there's a lot of people in the cast. They're probably like 25 or 26 years old, but they look like they're 13 or 14 years old.
Yeah, they're all little kids.
Yeah.
It was a PBS Kids fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was one of my gripes with that one. Also, the CGI, the robot when they're doing these actors in CGI, it's fucking tearing me apart.
The Ian Holm that they try to do the Ian Holm character from Cyborg from the first movie. He just didn't work out. It was that scene. I was laughing. It was laughable.
Yeah, it was supposed to be emotional too.
It was supposed
to be
emotional.
a very emotional scene, and here's this fucking guy, and you can't make out what kind of face he's showing because it's like an AI generated face, and it's fucking weird. It's going from happy to sad to frustrated and constipated in like 5 seconds. This is what's wrong with Hollywood nowadays, is they're doing this fucking CGI shit. AI faces.
Yeah.
Get out of here, dude.
The aging technology is just not where it should be. I don't know why they have to bring in old characters. If this is a new story 45 years after the original movie, they should have just stuck with something new. They should have done something fresh. This is basically the same movie as the first one. It just happens after the first movie. And the lead character, I didn't believe that she was tough. The guy that played the cyborg was pretty good. The Scythian, I believed him. The Scythian that was helping her out. I think he was kind of a standout in the movie. He was the only one that was cast properly. But the rest of the characters, I just didn't think that the guy was the captain of a ship. She was in charge of certain things. None of them look the age that they're supposed to be. They look like they're 15 years old.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work for me at all.
It was like they were casting the Power Rangers, and instead they were like, no, we're doing the Alien movie. We're not doing the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But dude, everybody was like a fucking teenager, so whatever. What's the next movie you got on your list?
Well, let's go from my number 10 and we'll go to yours. So what do you have as your number 10, and then we'll discuss it.
All right. So this one should have been a lot higher, but and on the bottom of this shit pile, I have Maxine. Oh man. Here's the thing why this movie was very very near and dear to my heart, because I fucking liked the first movie.
Yeah, X was pretty good. Pearl
X
was
wasn't
very good.
bad, and Pearl was fucking great. And me and him were just waiting, like we saw the trailer and they mentioned the Night Stalker killer, and I was like, okay, how are you gonna tie this shit into this movie? And the 80s and all that, and then we saw the movie. And it's got Kevin Bacon in this fucking movie, and he's doing his best Southern guy.
Private Eye slash.
What's that chicken? Foghorn Leghorn?
Yeah.
He sounds like Foghorn Leghorn in this movie, dude. It's retarded. Watching Kevin Bacon act in this movie was like putting pins in my fucking eyes. And I like Kevin Bacon. Steer of Echoes.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is great. How the fuck did they pay him this much money to tank his career?
Yeah.
And, it's whatever. I mean, it's not going to kill him, but dude, that movie was dog shit. I expected a lot.
Dude, I expect a lot because those first two movies, I would put them as two of the best horror movies we've had in the last 10 years. I especially like Pearl.
Ty West.
Yeah, Ty West was the director.
Took it over, The Ty West was the next guy in the horror genre that was gonna take over the Hollywood by storm. Dude, this movie was a piece of shit.
I think this is what happens is when this movie is like the first two were like small budget, and it's like very intimate cast. You got Kid Cudi, you got a few like smaller characters.
Yeah.
And like I said, this one is like we're gonna bring in Kevin Bacon, and we're gonna bring in all this. Lily Collins is in the movie. They got cast after cast, and then the worst part of it is all the kills were awful. Like it wasn't like anything that like there were no good kills. It was awful across the board for me, and the priest, the guy that was like the villain, that was her father. I'm like, where did they get this guy from? What Broadway show did they bring that guy in? He's reciting like a 5-minute monologue at the end of the movie.
Stupid.
I got bored like halfway through it.
They started that whole thing with the priest in X, to be honest with you. They started it there, but man, they took it like over the top in Maxine. It was kind of it was really poorly done.
Yeah.
But whatever, man. There's a big pile of shit here. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah. For me, Maxine was my number one. So since we already talked about it, it's not even worth wasting a minute in this movie.
1 or 10, it doesn't matter, dude. It's a piece of shit, right?
I'm gonna jump into the next movie. My number 8 was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This is
Jesus
another
fucking.
franchise. They are running into the ground. They have run out of ideas in this completely, and they are just destroying this whole franchise. Again, they put in a new ape. It's like 300 years in the future from the other movies, and then the lead character is the chick from The Witcher that looks like he's 10 years old.
Yeah. And she's
Is
like 30. She's
yeah,
probably older than
yeah,
me.
yeah,
And yeah, exactly. And I can't stand her in The Witcher either. But in this movie, she's supposed to be like the primitive one.
Yeah.
Like the human race is now. And now there's going to be a spoilers in the beginning of this, so it doesn't matter. The human race is the. Well, we're like the apes now. We're the ones that are being hunted. And the apes are civilized.
yeah.
So when they see a human out in public, or caught making a mockery of themselves, they're like, "Hey, look at that little ape." They're scared of it.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, that thing could hurt us." It's fucking wild. Dude, this movie was. I was looking forward to it because the last couple were kind of cool.
Right.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of good
I
stuff.
like those movies.
But when, I think the series died with Caesar, is all I'm going to say about this movie. They got a new ape now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I think this franchise, they need to give it like a 20-year rest for
Please.
people to start feeling hungry about it again.
Yeah.
And then come up with something that's cool. I think they really need to go to what the movie, the 2001 movie with Mark Wahlberg.
I
One
went
with
back.
practical effects, like they actually did the makeup and all that. I think that was pretty cool because you want to have the apes look more human as they go. Like you don't want them to be like they were in the Caesar movies. They need to evolve and start looking more human, like in the other ones. But the only way to do that, you gotta do it with like practical effects. You gotta put makeup. And I don't think that's an art form that even exists in Hollywood. It's like Hollywood is all about fucking shortcuts. Let's put CGI. Let's make it post-production. And they just take fucking shortcuts with this movie. It's not good. There wasn't one good actor in the whole movie that you can hang on. And for some reason, the movie made $166 million, which tells you there's a lot of stupid people that are willing to watch this movie. Sure.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest budgets, and it made the most. Hey, David. Stupid cat. Anyway, the next one we're looking at, because we just beat that fucking Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes to death.
Yep.
I have one that everybody liked. I didn't. And it's on his list of most exciting movies. So we're going to bump heads on this one. Dune Part 2, I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't understand it. I wanted to go. I didn't finish it, man. Like, I watched it like for an hour and 30 minutes and I fell asleep. This movie was so boring that it had a weird filter, like this grayish filter. Like, I thought I was watching like a modern 300, but without like the cool action. There was like one scene in the arena. I'm not watching a fucking 4-hour movie for one scene, dude. It was so bad. I could not take it. That filter is unrealistic, and I don't buy it, man. I really I didn't like the movie. I couldn't pass through a certain portion of it, and Zendaya fucking sucks, dude. She's a piece of shit. Fucking I hate everything with her, dude. The Challengers, anything. I don't take it seriously because she's like a Disney star, man. I'm not buying that.
I think, speaking of Dune, I think it's a movie that you have to like watch in the theaters. This is a big screen movie.
I agree.
That has to be watched in the theaters. I don't think it works if you watch it at home. I watched it in the theaters. I watched it at home, and it was a big difference when it comes to that, you know. And I just think that the movie, I like the first one. I thought the first one was very good. The only thing is that they made Dave Bautista and Stellan Skarsgård look like a bitch in
Yeah.
this movie,
Yeah.
because I thought they were great in the first movie. They were vicious. They were killing people left and right. Dave Bautista is always imposing, and I didn't like that they replaced them with like Austin Butler, and they just killed Stellan Skarsgård like easily in this movie. I just thought that the movie, it worked. I didn't like it as much as the first one,
Yeah.
but compared to what came out this year, I thought it was a solid movie.
Yeah.
I thought the special effects were good. But again, it's a movie you have to watch in the theaters. You can't watch it on the small screen.
And the only reason it's on my shit list is because, like, I don't give a fuck if you have to watch the movie in the theater or not, all right? If you can't bear to go through that film on your TV, hell, even on your computer, if it's not, like, gripping your attention, dude, you don't like the movie. It's according to you, subjectively, of course, it's a piece of shit. I didn't like it. I thought at the theater, I definitely would have gotten that theatrical experience, which would have made it a lot better for me.
Mm-hmm.
But since I didn't, and I didn't get the glitz and glamour, I felt like this is just that. It's a smoke and mirror show, It's for a bunch of fucking, dummies that don't know any better.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's the one thing is that I don't know if it's a movie that you're gonna have to revisit or rewatch as many
Dude,
times.
I tried like 2 or 3 times. I don't like the leads are the worst. Like the like you said, Skarsgård is actually a great actor. A lot of the best actors they kill off, and Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya are the 2 focal points of this film. When that's the case, these guys better act their asses off. And I didn't think we got any of that shit. We got just a bunch of CGI crap, dude. It wasn't great.
Timothy definitely needs to bulk up, man.
Dude,
I don't know what the fuck, dude.
I mean,
He looks like he's 10 years old. I don't believe him for one second that he's beating anybody up.
I believed him in Willy Wonka because he did all the singing and the dancing. He looked the part.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a good movie. I thought it was a solid movie. I don't know if it's a movie that I'm gonna watch over and over again. Like everybody says, it's a classic and all that. But I would say it's a solid 7 or 8 out of 10.
All right, let's go to the next one.
The next one was a movie called Trap by M. Night Shyamalan.
So is this on your good or bad list?
This is I'm doing the worst list. This to me is number 7. And I thought the M. Night is kind of turning it around because I like the movie Old.
Yeah.
I like The Visit. I'm thinking, he's in a groove. He's gonna give us another good movie.
Yeah.
And Josh Hartnett is the lead of this movie. The premise is he goes to the concert with his daughter, and then they find out he's basically stuck in the concert. And they bring this English lady that's supposed to know every fucking thing about every fucking thing.
Well, you're fucking it up. So they bring him to this. It's way more elaborate than that. So Josh Hartnett's bringing his daughter to this fucking pop concert, right? It's a fucking Dua Lipa bitch, and the daughter's a fan. But this concert is a trap to catch this serial killer, which is actually Josh Hartnett. So he's got this whole life, the second life of a serial killer, like Dexter.
Yeah.
And his wife and kid know nothing about, and he's like monitoring his hostage that he has elsewhere while he's in this concert. And the premise got me, man, because this is on one of my best lists, and it's on there for the wrong reasons, because I thought it was such a bad movie that I had such a fun time watching this movie and just shitting on it. So it's on my good list. It's to me, it's like a Steven Seagal flick. I just like watching some films just because of how bad they are.
Yeah.
Stupid concept would never work, but Kid Cudi dressed like a fucking drag queen. Dude, this shit you can't make up, and that's why I liked it.
Kid Cudi should get a Academy Award nomination at the very least for portraying a modern pop star in the movie. I thought he fucking killed it.
He was so good.
He was so believable. Like, this guy should have been at Rihanna's halftime.
Yeah.
100% as this character.
Yeah. Beyonce's halftime.
Beyonce's halftime show.
Yeah.
That she did
with the white
on
hair.
Netflix.
He actually looked like Beyonce.
100%.
I thought it was Beyonce.
Dude, he fucking killed it. It was so believable, this character. They should make a movie just about that character. Like,
yeah.
This should be like Bruna with Kid Cudi. And I'm all in for this movie. Like, this should be a fucking comedy.
It's more believable than Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
Kid Cudi killed it. He was part of the reason why this movie's on my best list.
100%. But this movie for me would have worked a lot better if you didn't know the premise. If they told you the guy was not the killer, and you're basically on the concert right away. If he's not the killer, and you're seeing like a quick trailer that, hey, this is going on at this concert, and you don't know who's the killer and all that, but the trailer ruined this movie. They basically told you he's the killer. He has to escape, and not only that, but he escapes like 5 or 6 times in the movie. Outsmarts the cop. His house is surrounded. They got him surrounded.
He was 10 steps ahead of the police every time, and they ambushed him every time, and it didn't matter. This guy was good.
Yeah.
Unbelievably good.
They got him in the car. They're escorting him in the car. He escapes out of the police car. I mean, they got him in the back seat. He escapes. He goes to the fucking underneath the car. He goes to the fucking tunnels. Like, the guy's like fucking MacGyver 2025.
He was great, dude. Josh Hartnett. His best trick was how he revived his acting career since that piece of shit movie with Bruce Willis. That Kansas City Shuffle piece of shit. That fucking movie sucked so bad it killed his career. He needed to make Oppenheimer and this movie just to revive that. Yeah. So that was his biggest trick. That was his best comeback. That was the Shyamalan twist, is reviving Josh Hartnett's career.
I mean, I hope I see Josh Hartnett more, but like
Me
I said,
too.
I don't want to see him in this kind of movie.
Me too, absolutely. No,
I want to see him more.
Same
That's
here.
For sure.
He's great. I believe in Josh Hartnett now. And I didn't before. That's the thing. Sin City was the only film I was kind of on, in the middle of the road on this guy. But after seeing him make this comeback, I'm definitely on board. Hell yeah, dude. More Josh Hartnett.
Yeah. So what do you got as your number 7 movie?
So I'm doing my worst. Blink Twice.
Yeah.
So this movie should be number 1, really, because it was so fucking bad. I could tell it was bad by the commercial, by the trailer.
Yeah.
But watching this film and I'm so glad I watched it all the way to the end, because it made it that much worse. Huh? How good was that ending?
Dude, it was unbelievable.
How good was that ending, dude?
The premise of this movie is when a woman takes over a man, she's gonna change him no matter what, no matter who the guy is. She's gonna be the boss bitch.
Yeah, she
for
has to
every fucking thing.
She had to be a boss bitch. Dude.
And this movie is basically this guy takes the same people to the island, roofies them, and fucks them. And the same people. There's not like new people and all that.
No, it's
like,
the same.
It's like the same people.
And they don't remember shit from the roofing and all the raping. They don't remember anything. And at the very end, this woman that he's roofied and kidnapped 1,000 times ends up becoming like his
muse.
The one that holds the collar, I guess, on his fucking neck. she becomes this the one that gets credit for the whole island and gets credit for his career because he was a failing actor, right, in the beginning, and then he's like, I'm gonna buy my own island. So everybody was on board because they thought they were getting the Jeffrey Epstein story.
Yeah.
And it turns out that she was like the Ghislaine Maxwell, right? But she was also one of the victims too. So she's a victim, and she ends up being the bottom bitch, right? She makes this guy's career, and that's how it ends. Like I'm nothing without her, which is also my rape victim. What a fucking story, huh? Who wrote this piece of shit?
Dude, this movie should have been
I love it.
Channing Tatum comes into the movie and he gets shot in the head 5 seconds into it, like The Hateful Eight. This would have been a better movie.
I would have loved that.
Like if he gives you a smile and he just gets shot, hey, I'm Jody, poof, right in the fucking head. And this movie is a better movie for it. And like I said, there is nothing in this movie. This is one of those movies that people were saying, like, you should be riveted. Like, the media is pushing this movie. This movie is going to break all kinds of laws. There's nothing in this movie you haven't seen. These movies are not made for men.
There's no fucking way that this is coming from any man, dude. There's no way.
Yeah, this movie was just fucking weak across the board. But, like you said, this movie should be number one because of the message that it puts out there is like that men are not evil and they can be turned around and all that shit. Is like, no, like we wanted to see a real fucking movie, big budget movie, and this movie just didn't.
Even though he like made all the money, she was the one that was the boss there, you know. She was also his rape victim, by the way. But she was in charge. Down low, she was in charge.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, this movie made me fucking furious. Just to watch it.
I knew it was going to be bad.
Like, this movie was fucking
But
awful.
I'm so glad we stuck to the end for this fucking thing, huh?
Like, you had to watch it to believe it how fucking bad this movie is. You just have to watch it. But let's move on before I lose my fucking temper.
Hey, all right. I got Twisters on my next one. Now, what'd you think of this Twisters movie, huh?
Dude,
I watched... Looking forward to the Hand of God, Finger of God.
Dude, I watched the original movie, and the original movie I thought, it's a 6. Yeah. You know, when I watched it originally, I watched it again.
Yeah.
And there's trucks, like real fucking trucks, being dropped off. There's like houses falling apart. It's all practical effects. Like this is made by like Steven Spielberg was behind the scenes. Is the guy that did Speed, the director.
So big budget,
movie.
A lot of explosions. Yeah, for sure.
The original one, you cared about the characters. There's cheesy scenes, but it's a good cast. You got Bill Paxton, Ellen Hunt, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Quality cast.
There's so many like good actors, even like the smaller actors you all know, and you like all of them. This new movie, I was so detached from it. I never felt that any of the characters were in danger. Everything felt CGI. Yeah. Like the rain was CGI, the fields were CGI. Everything about it. There wasn't one scene in this movie that I was like, wow, that's amazing. How'd they pull that off? I'm like, it didn't even get close to it.
No, not at all. Like everything, like you said, CGI, man. I mean, it really lost me. And on top of that, you got
Glenn Powell. We're going to talk about Glenn Powell.
That fucking guy, dude. I can't stand
He's had a great fucking year.
Guy.
He's had a great year.
He was cool.
Top Gun.
In Top Gun. This was 3-4 years ago. All right. He's just in every piece of shit now. I'm getting tired of this guy, man. I don't like him. But, whatever. There's probably hope, right? And just like Josh Hartnett, I like a good comeback story. Anyway, Twisters fucking suck. Glenn Powell or no, the dumb CGI, the fucking truck to flipping, and everything was phony. You know, like I miss Bill Paxton, dude. Like he probably would have died again if he saw this fucking movie. The next one I have, and it's your favorite movie, dude. It's Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Gladiator 2?
But number one, we have a whole video about Gladiator 2, so definitely watch that.
Check that out.
But
It's on the link below.
this movie
Ball sack.
was a complete disaster.
Mhm.
Like we thought Ridley is gonna be in there. We thought Denzel might help this. And when we looked at the trailer, we thought this movie was gonna be bad, but we had no idea how bad this movie is gonna be until you watch it. It's 2.5 hours of bullshit, and Denzel was basically just thrown in the movie just to fucking sell the movie. Like he's not even like part of the story. Like they just threw him in there and say, "Hey, we're gonna put him in the trailer," but his story is not even connected to anything.
So cool.
And it was corny. And the worst part of it is that the fight scenes, the action scenes,
Yeah.
are not memorable. They're
No.
forgettable, and they were shit.
Then he cut Denzel's hand off. He gave him a nub.
Yeah, it
He
sucked.
cuts his fucking arm off. That's the movie, dude. Denzel's a good guy, and he becomes a bad guy, and he cuts his fucking arm off.
Yeah.
Denzel can't fight. He's an old fucking man. Stupid movie. Didn't need to happen. Ridley Scott should have made Alien, not
100%.
Gladiator 2, Electric Boogaloo. Anyway,
Moving on, I'll move on to the next movie
You go for
on
it.
my list. The next movie was Joker 2. This movie should have never made this movie. Like I said, I don't know what is wrong with people still making fucking musicals in 2024. It's like musicals should have ended in the 60s. Like nobody cares.
Well,
about
they have
fucking
to-
musicals.
isn't that the Tonys? Don't they win a?
Yeah,
they
but
win their awards.
I never want to see
They
when
win a Tony.
two guys start fighting the movie, they settle it by dancing.
Yeah.
You know, I never want to see that.
Uh,
You know, and it's fucking awful that they're still making musicals.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, like, this movie is like the first movie is like you're hoping he becomes the Joker by the end of it, and it made $1 gazillion. Like it went over $1 billion, the highest rated R movie of all time, and they basically just forced the actor and the director to make another movie, even though they never planned to make it. But the movie was fucking awful. Like it's a fucking horrible music, no plot, and no story. And for me, it was fucking hard to even go through it. I just had to go through it to believe it that it actually happened, and I did, and it was fucking awful across the board. I mean, did you have anything you wanted to say about Lady Gaga's performance?
No. Nothing can be said. It's perfect. It's immaculate. Let's go to the next one.
Yep. My next movie was The Crow. This is another remake that should never be made. Like, nobody should ever remake The Crow. It was made perfect in 1994 with Brandon Lee. And any sequel they have made after that movie is absolute shit across the board. Even the ones that came in 2000, Crow, City of Angels, they're just not good. Like the first one is like you had like Brendan Lee, you get Ernie Hudson playing the cop, Michael Wilcott that we always like, you know, with his voice.
Yeah.
Tony Todd right after Candyman, and you got so many villains like David Patrick Kelly, and I love the tone, I love the look of the first movie, and it's a simple movie that it starts right away with them killing Brendan Lee and his wife. And basically it jumps right into the action.
Yeah.
The new movie they made in 2024, there is no fucking action until an hour and 20 minutes into the movie.
And they call it The Crow.
Yeah, they just call it The Crow,
Mm.
and there's a fight scene at the end of it, and there's a fight scene and an opera happening at the same time. And they keep cutting from the fight scene to the opera scene. I'm like, why do I need to see that? I want to see the fight. Why are you giving me the opera? So they need to stop with this cutting and pasting bullshit and just show us action. And I don't need a 2-hour action movie when I only get like 20 minutes of fucking action.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Like the movie should have never been done. And the Skarsgård brother, Alexander Skarsgård, and the one in this movie, I mean, they're imposing. These guys are like 6'4". They should be leading like an action franchise. They keep putting them in shit movies, one after another. He's like, put them in something good, man. You know, they just put those guys in something good. They're 6'4". They're in shape. They're good actors. And find something for them to put them in. Probably they should have been in Dune. Like, both of those guys would have been fucking great.
Would have probably made Doom better.
Yeah, in Dune. 100%. I would have put the Skarsgårds in Dune.
Yeah.
Would have been better. 1,000%.
Yeah. Just have the whole Skarsgård family, Dune, and that's it. Like, that's Dune for you. Just these guys killing each other in a arena. All right. But, you know, in all seriousness, we didn't need all that bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
So on mine, my number 4 is Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. Right? You see that? Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Anybody see that?
I stopped. I checked out.
Nobody saw that?
I checked out on Godzilla after the King Kong movie. I was like, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all CGI. It's all bullshit.
There. Okay, so like, there was a fight in this movie where, so Kong lives in his own island.
Yeah.
So in order to get a Kong Island, you have to travel really far.
And it's a red King Kong, right?
Far and wide.
It's like a red King Kong?
No, not yet.
Donkey Kong?
Yes. And they give him a glove. He gets this big Thanos glove because it's not cool if he doesn't have a glove now. And he needs the glove. It makes him superior, you know, because Godzilla has the flaming back. His spikes flame now because he went into radioactive waters or something. So you know he's got superpowers, dude. So they go through this portal because there's been a disturbance. There's another they have a lot of these ancient creatures that are out on the loose, and they're going through this portal. So they have to go through the portal, and they can't defeat this ancient creature, which is tamed by a monkey. So it's like an orangutan. So it's like another King Kong, but he's an orangutan.
Yeah.
King Kong is like a silverback. They can't beat this monkey together. So what's gonna happen is first they get Godzilla to help King Kong beat this monkey. Then when they realize like they can't beat this monkey, they call for more help and they call Mothra.
This sounds like a story for adults, like 100%. Like
We take this seriously.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
we take this seriously. So they call Mothra, and the fight started in their planet, and it came to Earth. And there's a scene where Godzilla, he picks up the bad monkey, or King Kong, I'm sorry. King Kong picks up the bad monkey, and he slams him down like Bill Goldberg.
Yeah.
He literally did the wrestling move, and it was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
That was all I remember. He did a wrestling move on the bad monkey.
Well, dude, what are your thoughts on the CGI in this movie? Because I used
It
to
is
think
so appalling. It is so bad. I can't take it. Like, I was watching and laughing every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it. But it was kind like, man, the story was bad, dude. Like, the actors were shitty. They had that chick from, what is it? Was it that bank robbery movie with...
Rebecca Hall.
Rebecca Hall,
Yeah.
dude.
She's a great actress.
How dare she make this piece of shit?
Money.
But it it was entertaining. This one was one of the highest budgeting films, by the way, for 2024. I'm gonna put it on the link so you can see what each film's budget was. You're gonna probably kill yourself.
Yeah. I know he made his money back. Like, people are willing to buy it.
Money.
People are willing to pay for this movie. And as long as they're willing to pay for it, they're just gonna keep making them, and they're all made in the studio. They all look the same. It's just like any of those Marvel movies. They just shit them out week by week, and they're not good.
So what's the next movie you got? Because this one was beat to death.
So Gladiator 2 I had, so I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm just and I had Gladiator 2 as my number 3. Blink Twice I had my number 2. So absolute horrible movies that nobody's ever going to watch. People are not even going to talk about it.
Absolutely.
I think people have already forgot it. I think they forgot it as soon as they walked out of the theater.
Yeah.
When it comes to both those
the
movies.
movie comes with a roofie, so you forget about it the next day.
Yeah.
I had my last two. I'm just going to toss them out there. There's a movie that came out on Netflix. It was called Tarot, right? With the tarot cards, and you're supposed to read people's future. First of all, the characters in this movie were all like, again, they were like 12. All right. And dude, it was the way they advertised this was like 13 Ghosts, right? You remember when the ghosts were actually fucking real and they looked gruesome? They had these fucking creatures with great makeup effects, these big bulky fucking ghosts that tore people to bits. So I thought it was gonna be kind of scary like that. So me and my girlfriend gave this fucking film a shot. Tarot was god awful. It had everybody but a white person. The white guy was actually a dick. He was the dickhead. The gay Asian friend. We had all of them covered, dog. All the agendas were covered.
All the bases.
All the bases checked off. You got to love it. And the jump scares, which is all it was, were bad. I didn't like it. It's a fucking shitty movie. The characters, the creatures look fucking bad. They look poorly done. It's not scary. Please, whoever you are, Ty West, somebody make a fucking good horror film, dude, because I can't stand these shitty movies anymore, like Tarot. And then on my number 1, Smile 2. The way they advertised this fucking movie was, Smile 1 was a hit.
Yeah.
You saw it. I missed out because I was like, I'll take everybody's word for it. It seemed like a dumb concept. People smiling at you all stupid and shit. Watching Smile 2, man, it was something else.
Yeah.
It was another level of bad. I didn't understand why this movie was this bad.
Yeah. I thought the opening scene was pretty cool, like because you know what's happening in the beginning.
Best part of the movie.
So the opening scene was pretty cool. How it started with the shootout and the guy getting ran over by the car, and then the movie completely gets out of control. There is no scare scenes. You don't know what's a dream, what is a dream, what is not a dream, and it's like back and forth. The movie, I was bored throughout the movie. None of the performances were any good at all.
They're supposed to make us feel bad for this pop star, this rich pop star, right? They're supposed to make us feel like she's suffering, going through a lot of shit. It like throughout the film, she was flipping out. She was seeing things, so she was giving her her assistants shit. She was accusing them of stealing.
Yeah.
She was not listening to her mom, which was, I think, somewhat her manager. And, there was just a lot of things that I didn't give a shit for. Like, I think every diva, like Ellen DeGeneres or whoever the fuck, Lizzo, treats everybody in their circle like shit. So I didn't feel any kind of remorse or anything for her. I wanted her to die, honestly. Like, this whole film was it was supposed to make us feel like she was suffering, and when you don't care about her, right?
No, I didn't care about her. Didn't care about any of the characters that got killed in the movie.
She was a drug addict.
Just the guy in the beginning, I thought it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool opening. But other than that, I was completely lost in the movie. Just the movie didn't do anything for me at all. Just didn't do anything.
Nothing.
I watched it. I forgot everything about it. It was over and done. You know.
But the intro was great.
The intro was
what an intro. I mean, great fucking intro.
Yeah.
That's the only compliment I'm giving this movie. Everything else went downhill.
The crazy thing is, I don't like with this movie and the next movie I'm going to talk about in just a second, because I'm very passionate about this next movie. But this movie and Gladiator 2, they got like a big push by the media across the board. Everybody was raving about this movies. These movies are gonna change everything. They're gonna. This is just as Gladiator 2 is just as good as Gladiator 1. It just extends the story. I'm like, what are you guys watching? Like, what? Why are you feeding this fake bullshit?
Gladiator
like,
1.
It's bad.
Gladiator 1 didn't have Denzel Washington. Where are you gonna get that kind of star power in Gladiator 1, huh? Where's my New York accent in Gladiator 1? I wanted Denzel Washington playing basketball. I didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it just didn't work. I understand why I don't know why the media, they keep pushing these movies when they know they're bad. Like you got the Today Show, you got all the View and all this. They're pushing the movies like they watched it and loved it. I'm like, there's no way you loved that movie. There's no way you watched that movie and all the way through and you felt it was a good movie.
They loved it.
Stop lying about it.
Oh,
You know?
it was great.
Like,
it was great.
Like we're kissing ass. We're getting to the point that we're just kissing ass just because Denzel is in the movie.
Yeah,
we gotta praise it.
We gotta love it.
Even though the movie is crap, is like stop it. This
hey.
movie was bad.
Hey.
I don't care if it was directed by Ridley Scott. The movie, if it's bad, just call it. You know.
Hey, Denzel's a pastor now.
Hey, like I said, he can be whatever he wants. Like I said, I like Denzel. Don't get me wrong. I like Training Day.
Hey, you respect.
I don't like Gladiator 2.
But respect to the Denzel name. He's a pastor now.
Yeah. But moving on, we'll finish up the list. My number one movie was Longlegs, and this is a movie was advertised, over-advertised. They kept comparing this movie to Seven. They kept comparing the movie to Silence of the Lambs.
That's where they already fucked up.
And all I can tell you is, if they compare a movie into another great movie, you're already in for a garbage piece of shit movie. There's no if and about it. If it's a true story and they're telling you it's a true story, there's nothing true about it. Like, that's what you got to be careful with movies nowadays. Advertise it and over-advertise it. And this movie, it stars Nick Cage as a disfigured ex-singer that is a killer now. And
what the fuck was that?
Yeah. This
what
guy,
did you say to me?
Yeah, this guy was a singer in a metal band that kills people now, and he did a plastic surgery, and it went wrong. And I swear to God, is like Nick Cage looked at the script. It says, "Does this have overacting in it?" The guy said, "Yes, as much as you want. I'll take it."
And then he rewrote the script anyway.
I'll take it. And he overacts the shit out of this movie. But the worst part about this movie, there's nothing scary about it. This movie is laughable. He's laughable in the movie. It's a joke. Like, if you look at his performance in the movie, you're gonna start laughing. Like, this is not like Buffalo Bill, Ted Levine, scary.
No.
This is a joke that he's doing in this movie, and people praise this. They said, "Oh, Nick Cage's comeback and all this." I'm like, this movie is a joke. This is a comedy. Like, this cannot be a serious horror.
I almost felt like the same thing when it comes to Kevin Bacon and Maxine. He played like a caricature. Like, if you watch this scene, he is just like Foghorn Leghorn. He's a detective, and he's like, "All right, I'm watching you now, little lady. Little lady, I'll kill you if you did. I'm like, what is the fucking character's deal?
Yeah.
What kind of bad acting is this shit?
And he has a broken nose throughout the whole movie. You can't understand fucking shit he's saying.
To make it, to make him even more of a pedophile. He has a broken nose,
Yeah.
and he's like a PI, and he has this fucking gay mustache. It's dog shit, dude. But anyway, yeah, going back to your point, overacting in some of the worst actors possible, which used to be our favorites back in the day. You know, Nick Cage, come on, dude. He's the shit.
Yeah.
We love
I
Nick
mean,
Cage.
we're just praising guys for going over the top. Like, this movie, if you like this movie, you don't like horror movies. Like, this, if you like this movie and you think this is long legs movie is a good horror movie, then you know nothing about horror movies. This movie is a joke. It's laughable. From the first scene you see Nick Cage and all the way through. This is like, it could have been Sacha Baron Cohen playing this character. Like, this could have been a Borat movie, and it's a joke. It's an absolute joke, and I don't know why people praised it. But another one, media kept pushing it. It got advertised. The movie made double its money. They're probably gonna make a fucking sequel, 2 years. But the movie is shit. Absolute.